Screenless. Tala Gouveia, actress, feminist, popcorn enthusiast, part-time DCI, part-time Egyptian mummy. Welcome to Creative Cuppa.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So, theatre, TV, drama, voice acting. Do you have a favourite or do you prefer the variety?
I prefer the variety. I like mixing it up. I think once you've done something for a long amount of time, then you suddenly want to switch to something else. But I'm missing them all at the moment. It's like, yeah.
Theatre work and other TV productions they've just ground to a halt, haven't they?
Yeah, completely. And I think we had a first theatre going to administration the other day, Nuffield Theatre.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a sign of things to come. It's a bit
Wow.
heartbreaking, yeah.
Looking at it from a positive point of view, when the lockdown is lifted, people are going to want to get out and enjoy themselves and get back to what we all love doing.
Yeah.
And going to the theatre is one of those things.
Definitely.
So I suppose, in a free market, these things are forced back into being, aren't they? With a bit of luck.
Yeah, I think everyone's certainly thinking about what they're missing and what they love to do. And one of those things is theatre. And I mean, everyone's watching TV, obviously, at the moment because there's not much else. So I think there'll be so much demand for filming to start up again and to have new content, definitely, because I'm not sure we'll go straight into big crowds and gigs and theatre performances just yet.
Do you like a good box set too?
Oh, yeah, I do.
What are you watching at the moment?
Normal People.
I've heard good things about it.
Yeah, it's really good. I'm loving it. It's just nuanced and the performances are fabulous.
Do you tend to just choose one and binge it, or do you watch about 10 and take ages over them?
I normally binge, but now I'm in lockdown, I've tended to spread them out a bit more.
Yeah.
I guess so I'm not just sitting in bed watching TV all day.
That's true.
Normally feels fine, actually, but at the moment it's like, oh, okay, that's all you really did.
So on TV, you've acted in a huge variety of programmes, from drama in EastEnders and Cold Feet, which I really liked that storyline. That was really, really great. To comedy in Tracy Ullman's show and Plebs.
Yes.
To kids, including Thunderbirds Are Go Jetters, and of course Scream Street. They all sound like really different ways of working, although they're all TV.
Yeah.
What are the differences in those kinds of genres that you've come across?
That's a very good question. I mean, with the animation, that's very different because you're in a studio and you're sort of working with a script, which is always nice. You don't have to learn it. And you get lovely takeaways at lunch. I miss those.
You?
Oh, yeah. They come around with a menu.
You miss out on that. Stuck here in my little room.
Yeah, you really are missing out. You have to come in one day and say, it would be really helpful to be in the studio, see how they work. That will really help me with my music process. And definitely get a good wag on numbers.
With voice acting, do you find it challenging in other ways, like because you're not in costume and on set and, those kinds of things? Do you find that's almost an opposite challenge?
Yeah, it can be when you're first sort of establishing a character, or if you come in just to kind of do a few lines in a day or something to get into it, because you're in this sort of black box. And the director's on this other side of the screen, so it can feel a bit clinical. But once you get into it, and I think it's also really helpful in Scream Street, we do it together, which might sound obvious, but a lot of the times you might just do your lines individually, then someone else comes another day, which might be how we actually have to proceed after this. And things like movement are tricky because you have to get really physical to get into it. But of course you can't leave the ground because you'll be making sound or bangs or vibrations. So it's sort of, you have to be quite technical.
Yeah. I suppose the physicality would help with how the voice sounds, doesn't it?
Yeah, completely.
Yeah, so you have to make compensations for that.
Yeah.
So that's animation, voiceover. Mm-hmm. So then you've got drama.
Yeah.
What would a day on a drama set look like? like for instance, McDonald and Dodds, you were recently seen in.
With drama, you'd come together and read over the script. Often me and Jason Watkins,
The fabulous Jason Watkins.
What
a treat.
He's amazing. So we would work on the script together in the car or as everyone's sort of getting ready on set, and then you come with the director, read it, have a quick rehearsal, look at what the interesting points are in it, and if the script is working and if anyone's got any issues, and then you sort of jump right into it. Whereas I guess a comedy is more straight away, is this funny? How do we make it funny? Has anyone got any ideas? And I think you get to play a bit more with comedy as long as it's funny. So you're allowed to sort of change bits and scripts a little bit more, because the whole aim is just what is the funniest. It doesn't matter if it's necessarily the writer's idea or the director's idea or the sound guy's idea. If anyone's got an idea that works, it all goes in really. But I find people laugh less on comedy sets. It's very serious making comedy.
Is that unnerving? I suppose in theatre, you have that instant reaction, don't you? People can give you that instant feedback.
My first comedy director, Dominic Brigstock, who's brilliant. He did sort of Green Wing and Smack the Pony, and he's fabulous. And he would come up to you very seriously after taking go, that was very funny. Very funny. And I was like, Dominic!
Fantastic.
You're not laughing. So I find that really difficult to take in that feedback and believe it. But he was very earnest and very honest, and it was very funny. But he would not be saying it while laughing, which was very weird getting my head around.
Yeah, I suppose some of the best comedies are played straight, aren't they? And you're kind of laughing at the situation rather than, more slapstick kind of stuff. So in that sense, I suppose it would work. But yeah, I can see that's quite unnerving.
Yeah.
So we've got drama, we've got voice animation, comedy, and so theatre. How does that differ? I mean, obviously TV productions, like you say, TV production is more about creating something that is later kind of polished off and put out. Yeah. But theatre is instant. What's the difference in process between TV production and theatre in the way you prepare and how things are done?
Well, there's a lot more preparation, I think, for theatre, because you're rehearsing in a group and you're rehearsing for a long time. TV preparation is a lot more separate. It's very much, you just have to do the work yourself and turn up and switch off yourself from a lot of people working around you, because there's, people, there's crew, moving stuff, there's people talking, there's people eating, there's people shouting, the AD's shouting at everyone, and you kind of have to create a bubble sort of away. It's kind of just you and the camera really, unless it's a two-shot. Even when you're working with someone, sometimes it's your close-up, you've got to be concentrating on the energy of the camera. Whereas theatre, you're constantly connecting with everyone in the room. In the rehearsal room, you're listening to everyone's, everything that everyone's saying. You're looking at everyone, you're connecting with everyone. It's a completely different way of connecting. And then, of course, you've got the live performances and the audience, and you get your feedback straight away. So like McDonald and Dodds, we did it. Then you have to wait months to see if anyone's going to like it, or if anyone's going to watch it. You have no idea what they're thinking in their rooms, Whereas theatre's immediate and alive and, wonderful.
Have you had any... I mean, obviously, it's great with a live audience where they're with you. Yeah. What about those moments where
where they're not?
I don't know, maybe they've had a few shandies beforehand.
Yeah.
Have you had any really annoying moments?
Just thinking of one. I'm not going to say that one.
When we hit stop.
No, it's heartbreaking when the audiences aren't with you.
Like you say, you've prepared all that time. Yeah, you spent preparing,
and you work so hard, and it's so exposing. I think you just care. I mean, you care a lot when you're filming as well, but it's a different thing. You can go again if you're not, if you're not happy with something, it didn't feel right. You can go again, or the director will see and go straight away, let's try something else. But when it's theatre, you're out there. You're on your own, really.
The composer community, of which I feel lucky to be a part, really rallied together when we went into lockdown. And we suddenly found that productions were being postponed and closed down for the time being. Have you had that sense in the acting community?
I mean, the theatre straight away have started putting out performances on sort of the various channels on YouTube or to buy or to donate. I still haven't seen Fleabag, which I'm very excited about.
Good reminder.
That's the Soho Theatre, I think. But I think it's happening slowly. I think people are figuring out what they can do. The Bridge Theatre are doing talking heads with lots of big heads. Lots of big,
Sounds
brilliant people. But a lot of people are just trying to get by because we're all self-employed. The self-employed money, if and when it's coming, is not here yet. So people are like, how do I pay the rent? I need to go and see if I can get a job in Sainsbury's. So actually people are in a lot of distress and there's a lot of loss. And I think things are happening slowly, different projects, but people are taking their time, which I think is good and fine. Yeah.
It's the same with touring musicians, but I'm quite lucky that I still have PRS royalties that come in, thankfully, for things I've done before. But touring musician, tours cancelled, they don't get paid. It's just, that's it.
Yeah.
All over. Which I'm sure is the same for the theatres.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people are doing these sort of live musician performances from their houses, their living room, which I'm kind of enjoying. They're good. But I think also there's a bit of a pressure as well to ask for money and then donate that to the NHS, which is great in many ways, but also so people are doing the work they normally would do in their living rooms, then giving the money away. So I don't know how anyone's living, getting by. It's a weird one.
Well, let's just hope that it's going to lift soon and we can get back to normal.
Yeah.
That would be fabulous. So just to round things off, if people were to try and find you online, where would they find you?
They could watch McDonald Dodds on BritBox or get it on Amazon. And we have our lovely Scream Street on BBC iPlayer.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking more you.
Oh, me personally. Just slolling about. What do you mean? Like Twitter and stuff.
Yeah. I wasn't meaning it to be a trick question.
Okay. Oh, God. Where do I...
What's your address? No, we're going to have stalkers outside. No, I mean, if people want to see what you're up to.
Yeah, I'm on Instagram. It's Tala Gouveia, and Twitter it's Tala GV, and I'm on there most days spreading my opinions around.
Nice one.
Yeah.
Nice one. I'll put those in the show notes. Well, Tala, thank you ever so much for joining me for a cuppa.
My pleasure.